see you, hater. My motivator. Y'all make me greater. Yeah.
Back on the project MONTE CARLO SS, which it's been a while since I painted it. It's been sitting outside curing up. As you can tell, it's pretty dusty. Got bird droppings on it, cat prints. But that's the best thing you can do, is let it sit up. The longer the better, before you start trying to cut and buff, which I'll be cutting and buffing pretty soon. But I got a project that I want to take care of before I do that. Which when he get this back, he gonna change a lot of stuff for us, the motor wise. He got some parts he want me to paint, and I guess I'm gonna pull this out, bring you back in and show you what I got. This is what we got here. We got some 383 stroker valve covers and a 383 stroker breather. He want me to paint these the color of the car, the candy red with the flakes. And I'm thinking about, once I paint it, I'm gonna sand this back down to have that brush look. That's the game plan so far. Not 100%. But the first thing we gotta do is prep it up. We'll prep everything up. So I'm gonna remove these grommets here. This backside. Get those out the way. Then we'll move to the next step. Okay, since we got everything disassembled, as we get to looking at this here, it got like a texture on it. It's like a hammer look or something. Not sure what you call it. We're gonna have to remove that and get it smooth so our candy, will turn out right. We don't want that texture in our candy, so what we're gonna have to do, sand it down as far as we can. Then we're gonna shoot some primer on it to build it back up to get it smooth. But on this piece here, it's pretty much smooth here, but the top piece not. And what we're gonna use on that, let's see, I got some 180 here. Got some 180 on the block. We're just gonna block these flat areas. Then up in here, we're just gonna use our finger with some 180. So let's get that started. It's pretty much coming up pretty easy. It's not taking much to get that texture out. Thought it was gonna be harder than that. Alrighty, I got those 3 pieces done. Only one I got left is this one here. We know it's a single stage because you can see the color on my hand. Alright, let me finish getting this one, then we'll move on. We finished up with the sand, and now we'll blow it off with the air hose. Now we'll wipe it down. After that, we'll mask everything off. It's really, I'm gonna be masking the hole there and maybe around here where the seal go. Same way with this one. And now we'll get them staged up, ready to shoot our primer, some high bill. I'm ready for my primer now. Got them staged up. I just tried to get them off the surface. I'm going with a cream color primer. It's not going to be gray. It's 2 coats of the high bill primer. When I actually start painting these, I'm going to try to position them a lot better because I had to move these around to get one side. And when you're spraying candy, you don't want to be doing all that because it's a lot of coats. Now we'll spray some guide coat on here and let it sit. We're going to let it sit overnight and come back out here in the morning and start wet sanding. I'm just going to lightly mist this on. It's already flat. I'm just putting this on just to let me know where I done sanded, where I haven't sanded when I go to sanding. See how light it is? Okay, I'm back on the valve covers and the breather. It's actually been a day and a half because I had to go out of town yesterday, so I couldn't do nothing. But we got some 600 grit wet and dry sandpaper. We're going to cut a piece in half and just use this. It's just going to take one piece for all this. And we're going to drop it in our soapy water here. Let it soak for a couple of minutes. Let it get soft, and then we'll start wet sanding. What I did, I just folded the piece I cut in half. I folded in 3s. Now I'm just ripping it down the middle. I have 2 pieces to use. Now we're just going to remove the guide coat. Once the guide coat is removed, we're good to go. Because it's pretty much flat like I said before. We're just scuffing it up so the paint have something to bond to now. Finished up with the wet sanding. Also got them staged up, ready to shoot my base coat. Like on something like this, I usually put a seal on it because you can see where I cut through. You'll see that through the first coats of base coat. I probably just have to put one more extra coat of base. Since it's just valve covers and a breather cover, I'm not going to put no seal on it. Spots like this, it'll show through on your first 2 coats, maybe 3. Especially when you're spraying candy because you don't want no discoloration anywhere. You want a uniform color. Here's the base. It's a Stellar Silver by Urican. Be spraying on my setter jet It's a mini jet. It's a 4400B HVLP 1.3 tip. I just wanted to cut you back on and show you what happened when you try to shortcut. Sometimes you can get away with it, sometimes you can't. You can see right here, I didn't wipe this down with wax and grease remover. You can see my fingerprints. Must have had some grease on my fingers, especially right here. See that? And plus this is what I was talking about, where it's gonna bleed through. I should have put a seal on it, which I could have kept putting more coats on it. It would have covered it up eventually, but you really wasted money and time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mix up a sealer. It's gonna be a gray sealer, and just spray all the pieces with a sealer so I can eliminate that. And this. Here's one coat of the sealer. Now the base coat, it should cover a lot faster and a lot better with this sealer on it. Don't pay the shortcut. Three coats of the Stellar Silver. It actually covered on the second coat, but I went on to put three. That's what that sealer do. Easy coverage. Now it's time for the micro flake. I got it here in my can. Just got to stir it up some more. I'm going to be spraying it out my Saddle Jet 1000B RP 1.8 tip. There's 2 coats of the micro flake. It's a 0.006 size flake. Now I mix my can up and we'll spray it. It's gonna be a fire red from your can. I'm gonna put 4 coats of can on it. It's 4 coats of the candy red. See the micro flake? It's gonna leave a light texture, but I'm gonna flow coat. I'm gonna flow coat it once I spray the clear. I'm gonna put 3 coats of clear on it, then I'm gonna flow coat it after that. After the clear dry, I'll come back and wet sand it and shoot some more clear on top of it. Here's the clear. This is actually 4 coats because I had a little bit left in the can. and I didn't want to waste it, so I went on and sprayed it. Like I said, I'll be flow coating it. So I'm gonna let this sit out here maybe a day or two. Then I'm gonna come back and wet sand it to get rid of that texture. Then I was thinking about putting doing it like I did the exterior of the car. Put the 3 different color stripes somewhere along here. Plus I gotta sand this top down, the 383 stroker, sand it down. Also on this piece. But I'll cut you back on in a day or two. Let me take you out here where these valve covers at. It's not been 24 hours since I sprayed it, but I brought it out in the sun. It's somewhat dried up some, so I can start sanding on it. I'll probably start sanding on them later on today. I think it's good to start sanding on it. First, I'm just gonna sand off this paint where I want the machine look. Then I start wet sanding the part that I'm gonna re-clear, which I'm gonna re-clear all of it at one time. But I'm gonna have to use a aggressive grit on this here, just in order to get it off fast. I'm gonna use probably 80 grit on this. Then on this here, I use something like 400 or 600. I just tore a piece off. I'm gonna fold it in half, something like this here, and be real careful just to stay up on this raised area. You can see how it's coming now. The paint's still soft because it's leaving a little scratch there, but it'll be okay because like I said, I still got to sand this anyway, but you just try to be careful. Breather sand it for us, the raised lettering. Just got to blow it off. Now I'll go put this back out in the sun, bring the valve covers in, and sand those. I'm going to let it harden up a little bit more before I start sanding the actual candy red. I got all my raised lettering sanded back down. Now it's time to sand the rest of it before it's flow coating it. And I'm going to be using some 400 grit. Let me let it soak. Then I'm just going to knock down the texture. Knock it down smooth. Finished up with all the 400 sanding. Now, like I said, I was thinking about putting the same pinstripe that I put on the car. These 3. This is dark red. Then we got a orange. Then we got a yellow, extra called sunflower. Thinking about putting a bigger one, then the mid-size and the smaller one. Here's the pinstripe. Now I take some 600 grit and just lightly go around the pinstripe. I just wiped everything down with some soap and water, blew it off. Now it's dry. Now I take some wax and grease remover and get rid of my fingerprints. Then I'll be ready to re-clear it.
Stop.